You may start. You may begin.
How excited were you to say, I'm getting goosies?
You know, there's a funny story behind that line, actually. So I want to say it was earlier that day. We had just shot the scene where Teddy Sears comes in and he's like, I'm Jake Eric. And it's like that iconic moment, right? And we were talking about how great that moment is written and how deftly it was executed. And Candace, when we were all kind of talking about it and getting excited about it, she was like, oh, it's just, that moment, it's just like, I was getting goosies. And I was like, shabloink. And it embedded itself like a little seedling in my brain. I wasn't like planning on using it. It just kind of embedded itself in there. And so then later on that day, I want to say it was that day, I'm not sure. We were shooting that scene, me and Victor, and in the blocking, it came out, and I was like, yep, this was meant to be. So thank you, Candace, for giving me that line. She gives me gold. So that's the story behind that line. And yes, I was very excited to answer your question.
Well, and speaking of Victor, you see Stein kind of as Cisco's mentor in a way that Wells was last season, but maybe a little nicer.
Just a little bit.
Maybe. Can you talk about how their relationship will develop going forward?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think Martin Stein and Cisco actually have a lot in common. And so that allows them to sort of geek out together in spite of, the age difference and the cultural difference, you know what I mean? And I think that's what's so beautiful about how the relationship develops. So I think viewers can definitely expect some of that to happen, especially considering the advent of Cisco revealing his secret to Martin Stein, or rather I should say Martin Stein figuring out Cisco's secret. So I think that also acts as a catalyst for their coming together. But I think ultimately it's great because I love working with Victor, and Victor's the best, and I think he likes working with me. So yeah, we get along like gangbusters, and it always feels very natural to do scenes with Victor. So yeah.
Do you know at the end of tomorrow night's episode that Harrison Earth 2 comes back? And since your character obviously had the closest relationship with him, the son-father relationship, how's it going to be when he sees Earth 2 Harrison?
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. All I know is that if something like that were to happen, I think Cisco would be quite shocked, and I don't think it's a surprise to anyone that it would hit Cisco very hard, and he would, it would take a lot for him to open up his vulnerabilities to a person like that, especially a person that he associates with, killing him. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you killed me. So if something like that were to happen, it would not be easy. That is my answer.
What more are we going to see about Cisco's visions in this episode and going forward?
The visions, that whole situation develops. It keeps developing. Things get a little more crazy. More visions start happening. I can't tell you exactly how that manifests or what happens as a result of those visions or anything like that, but I can tell you that things get a lot more complicated, and Cisco has to come to terms with what's happening to him, and that is his biggest struggle at this point in the season.
Does he start to get a feeling for being able to control them or get used to them?
Yeah, I think already right off the bat, given some of the stuff in 120 and the later episodes of season 1, in conjunction with these first 2 episodes in season 2, Cisco has had a lot of experiences with this sort of vibing feeling, and so he's no stranger to it, but it's still quite new to him. So I think control is it's not the word I would use at this point.
How did you feel when they snuck that vibe line in there? Like, I get this vibe.
Oh, it was great. I was waiting for it. I was like, when are we going to get, like, vibe in here? Like, we got to, like, we got to give the fans what they're asking for. But I don't know. I don't know what that means for the future of this character. All I know is that we're really hinting at some stuff from the vibe lore. So things look good.
Maybe we'll find some giant shoulder pads, like just hiding out in the
I
background.
don't I don't know about that. We might need to invest in some different things. You know,
Have you started thinking about it?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I don't even know if that's in my future. So I don't like to make assumptions.
How surprised were you at Cisco's reaction over, his developing these?
I mean, it's like, I guess when you think about it, like objectively, like on paper, considering that Cisco is such an eager personality, you would think he would be geeked about something like that happening to him. But I think it's what the writers have done is actually much more interesting. They're flipping the expectation on its head, and Cisco actually isn't responding well to what's happening to him. It's not a good thing for him, and he's very scared, and he doesn't know how to handle it. So I like that.
He's
Cisco
such a
had-
confidant to so many other people on the team, and it is interesting that he doesn't confide in anyone. You said that Dr. Stein guesses.
Right.
Will he continue to keep that a secret, or will there be people that he confides in on Team Flash?
Whatever the case, I don't think it's smart for him to keep it a secret. I think that will ultimately come back and bite him in the ass, regardless of how that manifests itself.
Kind of following up on that, Cisco had, a long time of watching Barry kind of come to terms with his own powers. He got to see what the impact was for Barry keeping secrets from people in his life. What lessons do you think he's learned from Barry's experience and kind of being so close to what Barry went through and now going through a similar journey?
Oh, I think Cisco has learned invaluable lessons from Barry's experience. I mean, he's been there through all the crazy stuff that he's gone through, the good stuff and the bad stuff in terms of discovering his powers and what it means to be a hero. But I think he's also discovered from the metahumans. We hear from the metahumans and about their struggle, and we know their backstories and how they came to be, these villains. And I think that whole experience is definitely. Definitely imbues Cisco with an education on what on what all of that entails. But all of that notwithstanding, I think there's something to be said about personally experiencing something like that. You can only learn so much from osmosis or from being a part of other people's experiences. When you're in it, and that is an entirely different learning process.
What are you most excited for with the upcoming crossover with Arrow and Legends?
V.
Vlada?
Vlad. I'm
I was
sorry.
like, is that a hero?
No. I was like, Vlad. Okay, cool. What's the question?
What are you most excited for with the upcoming crossover, and how does it compare to last season?
The crossover is fun. The crossover was a lot of fun. I just finished doing a crossover, and it was a lot of fun. Again, a lot of work. I always get really excited about it, before it happens, and then I'm in the middle of it, and I'm like, why are we doing this again? All right. Yeah, the fans, all right. And because I love what I do, that's right. But yeah, no, it's very, very exciting. They always manage to bring out the best parts of all the characters, and one of my favorite parts about the crossovers is that you get to see people that you wouldn't otherwise see interact, and that sort of creates mysticism of like fireworks about it, and there's something so great about that. So I think fans can definitely expect a lot of new relationships to blossom and new interactions to arise. But yeah, I think fans will be excited about the crossovers. Kendra Saunders will be coming to the crossover. Carter Hall and Vandal Savage will also be in that crossover, and they bring such great colors to the crossover. So yeah, expect some of that.
Any chance there'll be some...
Will we get to see Cisco hanging out with Black Canary ever
Yes.
again?
Yes.
No comment.
Will we get to see Cisco's family again?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. I really do, because I love the character of Dante, and Nick is so great to work with. I miss that guy. So, yeah.